Let me give you an idea about sovereign money. Abu Dhabi, $875 billion. Government of Singapore, some of you know them as GIC, $330 billion. Government of Norway, $300 billion under management. Temasek, Hong Kong, 159. I mean, you think of them as quite large, but they're really relatively small in comparison. There are fears about these sovereigns influencing policy in the United States, not just in the United States. There's a fear that this is going to influence policy all over the world. So every country in the world is worried when a sovereign is going to invest. But it is obvious that they are major players. They are major players in major real estate. They are not for small real estate. Also, that global real estate investment in the United States, you know where half of it is? New York City. New York City, the other places, Los Angeles, Chicago, Washington, D.C., San Francisco, half of it is in New York City, half of it is in the rest of the country. This is global last year. So this is for the big guys, the big deals, the very, very strong capital back people here in the United States, or done a really great job convincing the sovereign that they do have capital, even though it may even be other people's money. But it's a big game. That's what's going on right now in the flows. So I know that no one has really talked about, this is a global conference, so I wanted to talk about global capital flows. A lot more to be said, but I want our panelists to now weigh in. So my friends on the panel, most of you were here when you heard the comments made that there's money everywhere, but there's not a drop to drink. Is there a drop to drink, Mark? Lehman Brothers. When are you turning on the faucet?
Soon.
Tonight.
My name is Mark Fluin. I'm with Lehman Brothers. We obviously, some of you are familiar with us, and others, just by way of background, we have quite a bit of our business is focused on real estate, and we operate a principal transaction book. We run private equity funds that invest on the opportunity side, and we run 2 mezzanine funds, and we've obviously been very, very active in the last 5 years, and for good and for bad in the last year. But this has been an interesting year for all of us, and particularly I think Barry has emphasized, and some of the other speakers, what a large role CMBS has played in financing, like almost 70, perhaps closer to 80% of all transactions that get done, and that market just completely evaporating right in front of everyone's faces. And I have some good news, but let's just visit kind of where we've been, and we'll talk about where we're going. I think that what brought it on also was there was just a lot of silliness going on, and investors were taking risk. They didn't price into the deals, and there was a lot of loans being made that were far too highly, on properties that were far too highly levered, not enough equity in the deal, no amortization, no pricing that reflected the true risk that the lenders were taking. And we were probably the baby was probably thrown into the subprime residential bathwater. And I think there was a knee-jerk reaction that we felt in late 2007, and then from January to just as of the last few weeks, things have started to get better. But the spreads on CMBS bonds have just blown out. To as far as like 300, 350 over treasuries for AAA paper, and it's come back in quite a bit. Anyway, we were fortunate in mid-April to go to market with UBS and do one of the 3 CMBS securitizations that's been done in 2008, and we were surprised. The bond buyers stepped in, we sold all the tranches, and we priced the deal like at 189 over swaps, which was at one point closer to 300 over swaps in early April and March. So that was a good sign, and a lot of, I think the rating agencies stepped up and kind of reaffirmed some ratings on some earlier issuances and kind of stood behind some of the ratings that they had given. In addition, I think that this U.S. market and it was, about a $300 billion annual market is, so far this year maybe $5 billion, and there's just people who have allocations for this realize that there's not going to be a lot of paper out there, and I think we benefited from that. A week and a half ago, J.P. Morgan went to market, priced another deal at approximately 167 over swaps, which was even tighter than our deal. And I think that people realize that if you can aggregate loans and get to market quickly, that there are bond buyers out there for fixed rate paper. Not the floating rate market is still very much on the sidelines.